What I'm about to tell you, I wish I would have known years ago when I first started buying foreclosed properties. And in this video today, this is going to help keep you from losing thousands of dollars and save you on a lot of stress by just knowing these simple things up front that'll keep you from making a bad deal on a foreclosed property. Now, the last thing you want to do is buy a foreclosed property and find out later you didn't do the research, and all of a sudden that foreclosure really isn't a great deal anymore. Yes, a mistake people make is not doing enough research up front. You may find out exactly why that property is such a great deal. Now, you will need to get to know the neighborhood and what the current market trends are in that neighborhood, and also if there are any improvements happening in that area. Or is there abundance of foreclosures happening there too? If there are a bunch of foreclosures, one thing to note, you may want to pass altogether on that property, as that's a true sign that the market values are definitely coming down. Now, speaking of values, you also need to understand exactly what your resale value will be also in that area before you ever make that deal. Now, another thing to know when you're buying a foreclosure is do not overlook the hidden expenses. Foreclosures usually need a significant amount of repairs, and very seldom, if any, and at all, are ever in good shape with limited repairs. So always keep that in mind. And one big hidden expense, for example, could be structural damage. Yeah, we bought a home at an auction once. Right there on the property, we got possession. And when we entered the home, the basement wall was leaning so bad, we needed steel beams to support it. And that was a pretty big expense that we just didn't account for at the time. So just keep that in mind. Now, you also may even have a sewer line issue, or even worse, you'll walk into a gutted interior due to some sort of a house fire. And that, my friends, can be real bad, as it will stigmatize that home for life, as insurance companies will always have a red flag on that home forever. Now, get an inspection if you're able to. In most foreclosures, you will have some time for an inspection, especially if you don't know what to look for. You're going to need, for example, a roofer to look at that roof. You'll need an electrician to look at the electrical. That aluminum wiring can be a huge expense to replace, trust me. And also, you can get a foundation guy to look at the structure and just make sure that it's all good. You will also need to get a sewer scope to make sure that you don't have to do a sewer line repair, as maybe that previous owner, they might have poured cement down those drains, and trust me, that does happen. Now, obviously, the banks aren't going to fix these items as they sell these homes as is, but you will definitely know up front if that property is worth buying or not, as it may exceed your expense projection. Now, don't make a mistake of not having your finances in place if you're not paying cash for that foreclosure. Now, if you win that bid and you cannot close, those banks will hold you accountable and they'll come after you. One thing to note, most of these auctions, the investors there usually that win the bids are paying cash. So if you can pool the funds ahead of time rather than borrow from a bank, you'll have a better chance to win those properties as well. Now, here's something that many people overlook, and you need to pay attention here. This is the back taxes and liens on that property. Yes, if you purchase a foreclosure and you didn't research the title beforehand, you're on the hook to clear any liens and back taxes that are attached to this property. Now, this is a big one here. Keep in mind that when people are down on their luck, they owe other people money, and these people will secure their money by putting a lien on that title. And they don't care what that home's worth. They just want their money back. So you'll have to settle with them, and also you'll have to pay those past due taxes along with any interest in order to get this property a free and clear title. Now, one thing you can do up front, and it's easy, order an O&E, or what's called an ownership and encumbrance report on that property ahead of time, and you can get this at your local title company. Now, this report, this will show you what liens are attached to that property, and you can also go and look online to see if any taxes have been paid as well. Now, this is cheap insurance to get, as it usually costs $5 to $10 to get this report, But of course, this varies depending on where you are located. Now, I do this a lot, so if you have any questions on an O&E and how to read it, my contact link is down below. Now, this one may sound too obvious, but another mistake investing in foreclosures is overpaying for that property. Now, even if you have done your research on your as repaired value and it's in line with all the comps in the area, there are a few other factors that can affect this as well that you need to keep in mind. Now, underestimating the time commitment to get that property renovated can come into play. And hopefully, if you're buying foreclosures, you've done a few projects already and you understand the time commitment. But if not, you always should be prepared for things to take just a little longer. Now, the last thing you want to do is deliver a rushed remodeled project that looks cheap and like you cut corners, because that, my friends, will make you lose a ton of money fast. So plan a timeline accordingly, then add more time just to give yourself a buffer so you are protected from that dreaded time factor. Now, another thing that goes hand in hand with all this, and I've seen many do this, is they get attached and emotional during the foreclosure auction and bid too high to win that deal. Yes, we're all competitive, but you do not want to be competitive at a foreclosure auction, trust me. You need to set your maximum bid and stick to it. And I don't care if it's $1,000 over, just don't do it. You'll be happier in the long run that you stuck to your formula and you let that other person figure it all out the hard way. Now, when you're looking to buy these foreclosures, have a firm exit strategy. Yes, this will impact what your numbers are on that property. Are you going to flip that property? Maybe you're going to rent that property. Heck, you might even buy this with plans to live in this property. But whatever you do, know that up front so you can make a good, sound decision when you are looking to purchase that foreclosed property. With all these items I just discussed, if you're not a seasoned investor or have done renovations a lot on homes, you're going to need a good team on your side as well. You're going to need a lawyer to help set up entities for tax purposes and also for your protection. You will also need good contractors as well if you are not doing the work yourself. You will also need a good, experienced real estate agent that can do the market research and help you evaluate that property and also handle all the paperwork to help buy that foreclosure and also market that property when it is ready to resell. Now, I have a network of experienced agents all over the country, so click on my contact info below and I can get you hooked up with an experienced realtor to help you along the way. Buying foreclosed properties can be a fantastic way to make great money, but only if you avoid some of the things I have just discussed. And please comment below if I've missed anything that could help anyone out that's on this video. And please like and subscribe as well, as it helps my channel. And we'll see you next time.